How's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group. Today's topic, I want to discuss in full detail pensions and investments and explain that for dummies so that someone could understand whether to have a portion in investments and kind of take a little bit more risk, or how to set up if they're not offered pension plans through work. First up, what is a pension plan, and then how you could get set up on a private pension plan to make sure that your retirement goal is met, or at least your income goal is met, each and every month, each and every week, each and every year, so that you have a confident retirement. Now, many times, we get calls into the office every day, every week, every month, and it all goes off of individuals that are looking for that safety play, whether that's safe accumulation or just something that's going to provide them lifetime income, whatever that case may be. And what we've noticed is the most successful clients are not necessarily the ones that are trying to risk their dollars and trying to say, oh, I want to have this great rate of return, rate of return, rate of return. Because a lot of times when you have that max return potential, you also have that max loss potential there. And that's what kind of qualifies what an investment is. An investment is if your entire portfolio could go down and there's no safety net there, that's an investment, as opposed to a savings vehicle, which allows you to at least have that safety. If the market goes down, maybe you might have a protection of a 0% rate of return. If the market goes up, well, then you might have caps of 20% or uncapped indexes, whatever that case may be. But it all comes down to three main criteria on the most successful clients, or the individuals that have that pure confidence in retirement, that are happy every single day because they know that they were able to leave their job, they know that they have certain income sources coming to them and it's enough to cover their expenses, and they have the proper emergency funds, they have the proper inflationary protection in there, and everything works out really well. So when I break down each little segment, what exactly do I mean by income sources? Well, let's say if somebody's looking to retire at age 62 or 66, 65, whatever the case may be, there's going to be a set goal in mind. The most important aspect when you're looking at the income sources is trying to dissect, okay, what am I going to be receiving for income in my retirement? Because if I'm not going to be working anymore, obviously I'm not going to be generating that income that I would be receiving from my occupation. So many times individuals leverage Social Security, which is obviously you setting up at either age 62 or 66, 70, whatever the case may be, and this is income that's going to go to that person for the rest of their life. So if you're breaking down your expense analysis and you understand, okay, maybe I have $50,000 per year in expenses, that I have to at least make sure that I'm getting income for $50,000, and Social Security, let's say, gives me $30,000, well, now I have a gap sitting there of $20,000. So if somebody was offered a pension plan through work, and all that is a type of retirement, it's known as a defined benefit plan, that an individual is placing dollars away for their salary, or at least a company was an employer was setting up dollars of an individual's salary on the back end to then reinvest it for them and then now pay them a lifetime income stream, very similar to how Social Security gets paid out, meaning that if you want to retire, you have the option of either you or you and your spouse to receive lifetime income. When one spouse passes away, the next spouse still will receive that income. Or if you have a single life income, that's going to most likely it's going to be a higher dollar amount, but now that risk is all associated on that one life. If that person passes away, well, then the money train stops. There's no more money going there. So let's say, so that pension is another safe way on how somebody could produce that income. So let's say if you have pension income and that goes to somebody for $10,000. Well, we understand the Social Security is going to them for $30,000. The pension income is going to them for another $10,000 for the year, but their income goal is $50,000. So now you have a $10,000 gap right there. How exactly do you suffice that gap? And many times, for the majority of individuals don't have pension plans, so that's why they either have to have Social Security, pension income, or that last aspect is savings. So if they're fortunate enough to have the pension income, sometimes the pension income and the Social Security could suffice that number. There's many times that it doesn't suffice that number. And if someone's not offered a pension plan, then you have to make sure that you're setting up your savings plan properly so that you're not outrunning that risk, so you're not running that risk of outliving your monies. And this is where a lot of individuals, whether they're retirees, seniors, whatever the case may be, they fall victim to something known as reverse dollar cost averaging because they're leaving their dollars at risk. They're leaving their dollars with investments that could potentially go down, that have exorbitant amount of fees, that have all these negatives working against that account, working against that portfolio. If that portfolio gets liquidated, let's say if somebody has $1 million worth of savings or whatever number you want to use, and they start drawing down this money and they're doing it the wrong way and they're leaving it at that risk, 100% at risk with the market, with mutual funds, well, they have to pay mutual fund related fees each and every year, regardless of if that account goes up or goes down. That fee always has to come out. An advisor, you have these wealth accumulation specialists that tell you leave your money in the market, we're going to try to set up the systematic plan, but at the end of the day, nothing's guaranteed. So yes, this person could help you choose your different mutual funds or your different funding options to try to grow this account, but there's nothing guaranteed. The only guarantee that's associated with that advisor is that he's going to charge you a fee. So if you have a mutual fund related fees of 1%, advisor fees of 1%, and then you're susceptible because it's in the market of downward market loss, like in 2008 is a very prime example. The average portfolio lost 57%. So that means if somebody walked into the year with $1 million, they walked out of the year with $430,000, and that if they use that full 57%. So it's a very realistic scenario. Some people lost 20%, some people lost higher than 57%. But even if, let's say, the market goes down 10% in a given year, we've seen all this volatility there, that's another negative happening to your portfolio. And then when you try pulling out income from that account, such as the $10,000 to suffice, say, oh, well, I have $1 million bucket, this is not going to be a problem, or 20,000, depending upon how large that gap is. Well, you want to make sure that that gap is closed. So if you have to take out more money, well, then obviously that's going to be a larger negative. So you have all these negatives that are stacking up against your account. And because it's investment, there's no guarantees there. So there could be times where you retire in your 60s, you're in your 70s, and you have no more money left. And it's because of the power of compound interest working in the negative aspects that are completely liquidating your account. So it's all about making sure that you have that pension income, you have that sort of safe income that's coming to you at all times to accomplish your income source goal. Now, if, let's say in this example, if we go and we have a gap of $10,000, well, you want to use the smallest amount of dollars from your savings so you have the max amount of dollars into your emergency monies. What do I mean by that? Well, you have different companies out there that give you guarantees, certain insurance contracts guarantees that say, okay, if you go and you place $100,000 with us, we're going to provide you $10,000. Or you might have company B that says, oh, if you give us $250,000, we're going to provide you $10,000. Well, why would you go with company B if company A is going to provide you that $10,000 for a lot less dollars, for a lot less money? And that's all about, depending upon your area, depending upon your goal, there's certain niche criteria that you have carriers that are very favorable depending upon a male, a female, a certain age, a certain deferral, whatever that case may be. And that's where we come in, as we deal with all the different carriers out there in your particular area, hundreds of different carriers, and then proprietary strategies, making sure that we're squeezing out every single possible leverage to accomplish this goal successfully, the income sources, so you're leaving as much dollars in emergency funds and liquid cash as possible. Now, if we're maximizing out that emergency funds and we already have your income plan set up, well, then you could leverage those emergency funds, or you could leverage portions of those dollars into investments and have fun and let, kind of like think of the stock market as a big casino. If the market goes up, great. Now you could go on vacation that year, to Europe or whatever the case may be, or visit your grandkids more frequently. Do different types of travel or buy a boat, whatever that case may be. But you want to segment your pension or your safe income with your investment monies, and you want to make sure that those income source goals and those emergency monies are met. Because worst case, if you ever come to an oh my gosh moment, you need to pull from liquid cash, you don't want it being restricted in some of these income producing vehicles. You want to make sure that that's as plentiful as possible. The very last aspect that a lot of individuals don't speak about is this inflationary protection. And what I mean by that is, let's say if you have that $50,000 income goal, or we understand your expenses are $50,000. Now, out of those expenses, $30,000 are fixed, $20,000 are inflationary expenses, but you accomplish that goal of $50,000 the first year. Well, every year after that, if we have the cost of goods and services are going up, and that if those inflationary expenses are currently $20,000, well, in the next 3 years, and they say that inflation increases between 3 and 4% per year. So if we're looking at the reverse dollar cost averaging aspect and we add inflation on there, well, now you have a large negative that's going against your portfolios that you're now going to have to pull out more money. So the plans that we try to help set up are saying, okay, this is going to trigger income. Maybe that $50,000 goal is going to happen at your age 65, and then at age 69, maybe this income now we're going to trigger a new income play. Well, maybe that's going to be $56,000, and then at age 72, maybe that's going to be $63,000. Whatever the case may be, but we want to make sure that it's stepped up properly with inflation, so that you have that peace of mind of saying, okay, I place my dollars aside. I know everything that's working in there. It's a guaranteed basis, so that I don't have that risk. I don't have that worry that the market's crashing, regardless of all this volatility. I have that peace of mind that I have that retirement paychecks come to me each and every year. And that's the way on how to do it. You have to look at, is it something safe? Is it something risky? If it's something risky, that's where you're going to have the panic. This is where individuals constantly outlive their dollars. It's because they fall victim to reverse dollar cost averaging regarding this risk and regarding the fees. If it's a safety aspect and you're setting up the income plans properly regarding the personal pension plans or the pension plans through work, how to make sure to maximize it specific to your goal. If your goal is $50,000 and you've already accomplished that goal, well, then you don't need to go and place your dollars into anything else. You could leave your monies in investments. If you have an income goal of $50,000 and you only have income sources coming in of $30,000, well, now you have a gap of $20,000. What's the smallest amount of dollars to leverage into certain safe income producing vehicles, retirement plans, retirement products that will produce you that $20,000? If it costs you $200,000 with the top carrier, use the $200,000. Don't use $350,000 with the second place guy or the third place guy, whatever the case may be. So we want to make sure that your plan is customized at all times and it's specific. And I highlight this word "your" specific to your goals at all times, and that's so key because. And let me clear off the screen. If you have a family member that's using a specific type of platform or a specific type of plan, and let's say that person's age 60. But you're age 65, well, those are entirely different concepts. Those are entirely different strategies on which is going to be the top carriers. You might have carrier ABC is going to be the top three, and then for your neighbor, it might have been carriers XYZ were the top situations. So it's all about making sure that you're leveraging the smallest amount of dollars, but as much as necessary to accomplish your goal of income sources, emergency monies, and inflationary protection. Understand the safety, understand the risk, customize a plan specific to your goals. Each carrier is going to be fighting for your business. So some carriers work really well for somebody in their 50s, their 40s. Other carriers will work really well for somebody in their 60s. People that want to defer growth for 10 years, people that want to defer growth for 30 days, whatever that case may be. So that's why you have hundreds of carriers out there, and then you have proprietary multiple strategies to make sure that you could accomplish your goal successfully. And that's something that we do is, at any point in time, if you found value in this video, feel free to give our 1-800 number a call. It's 1-800-566-1002. We offer 24/7 customer service. You give us a call on mornings, nights, weekends, and we'll have a specialist speaking with you. And we're going to educate you first and foremost. It's going to be a very methodical process. You're going to be very comfortable. It's not somebody that's going to try to pigeonhole you into something that you don't want to, get set up with. You want to understand your situation and understand exactly what your gaps are so that you could take the smallest dollars in there. We're all about working for the client, not working for the company. So yes, we represent all the companies out there, but how exactly can we make sure that the client has as much control as possible rather than all the carriers that are trying to talk about their marketing pieces and really try to take control and possession of your dollars for their benefit? So how exactly can we find the niche criteria and make sure that we're scaling through all the top results? And that's why on average for each individual that calls in, we go through over 1,200 different product strategies and scenarios before we give our top 3 recommendations. We are A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau. We've always had very good reviews. We've never had any complaints, and it's because of this methodical process. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Retire Sharp, so you can have access to the most updated videos. Thanks so much, guys.